Hey guys, Rexasaur here, and welcome to the Greenskins rounds and set of battle ones for this video for the Heroes of the Old World tournament. Today, we're Greenskins. Firstly, before we even start, the Greenskins have probably the most difficult group because we have some of the most legendary YouTubers and tournament fighters in general, very good players. And we start with one of the biggest fights we have on one side. OfficiallyDevin, one of the most advanced players of them all, against Faceman. I'm joking, by the way. Like they are very good players, but the battle after this is going to be Legend versus PrussianPrince, which as a first battle is pretty insane. But anyway, before we get a little warmed up with Devin, and I would like to note to start with that Devin's formation is the most asymmetrical thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he's got like ball boys over here, and then he's got some just completely flung out far and wide. He's got some like weird zigzag patterns going on. Devin, sort it out, man. Like, lead by example, honestly. Even like your trolls. The trolls quite symmetrical there. I mean, I said this one's a bit far out, but you know. Anyway, enough joking around. Let's see what Devin has actually bought in his army. He has bought some Savage Orc big guns. He's also got a bunch of normal Savage Orc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. 5 units of Savage Orcs. Actually, yeah, those big guns. Yep. So he's got 4 Savage Orcs and then 2 big guns. He's got 2 units of Savage Orcs back here, which makes it 6 in total. He then has a unit of Trolls. He has 2 Doom Divers. He has bought Azhag the Slaughterer with his weird banner wing thing and his helmet just... you know, green eyes, shit like that. He's also got a Goblin Big Boss as his hero, which is an interesting choice. He's got 2 units of Orc Boy Big Guns, Orc Ball Boy Big Guns, sorry, and also some more unit there. So he's got 6 Orc Ball Boy Big Guns in total. He's gone for a very cavalry orientated. His infantry is pretty good. I prefer Savage Orcs over the normal Orcs because they have Frenzy, and means they are immune to psychology until they break, and they just deal a fuck ton of damage. On the other end, we have Faceman, who's just bought a generic Orc boss here. Oh no, he's bought an Orc Shaman. That's not him. That's his secondary character. Where's his main hero? I'm looking for him. I'll find him eventually. So there's an Orc Shaman there. There's probably going to find him later. So he's got a bunch of Orc big guns. 1, 2, 3, a ton. 1, 2, looks like 6 to me. 6. And then he's got a unit of Savage Orcs here. He's got a Doom Diver Catapult hidden there. He's got an Arachnarok Spider hidden there. And some Trolls as well. Actually, these 2 aren't. Actually, none of these are hidden. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how this works. But yeah, he's got an Arachnarok in the Spider. Fuck me. In the forest. I can't talk tonight. Oh, there is his boss. He's got a generic... Oh, yeah, it is just a generic big gun. Although it's not on a boar. It's very weird. But it's next to a unit of Black Orcs, which is... very lore friendly. And he's also got 3 units of Savage Orc Ball Boys here, which are pretty strong, to be honest. Anyway, let's get into the battle without any more shitty jokes and failings on my behalf. So we are looking at Devin's point of view pretty much, and he's just going to move straight into the melee where he's going to move his men straight up. His Doom Divers aren't in range yet, but he has asked them to fire at the Arachnarok, which is obviously not hidden. Not entirely sure why. I would guess it's a large creature, so it can't hide, but it's in... I don't know how this works. Either way, Doom Divers on Faceman's group starting to fire their trajectory. Doom Diver is by far the most effective... I was about to say the most effective... war machine, but it just missed like with 3 shots. So you can see these Savage Orc boys, big guns, I believe. Yep, just moving forward in their really war painted selves, going straight towards the enemy. Whilst Faceman with his normal Orc big guns, these guys are going to be very armoured and very good. He's also got some Goblin Wolf Rider archers. Why did I miss those? Oh, they must... I don't know. Well, basically he's got some Wolf... Oh, they must be behind the lines. And he's got a Shaman just there, not really doing anything. But so far it does seem like Devin is just moving up his boys in a line. They get hit a little bit by the Doom Diver, but they don't lose any of their men. Remember that basically the reason why the Savage Orcs are so good, not only are they frenzied, but they also take 10%, I believe, less damage in total, just generally. because they have war paint. I mean, that's not really going to help them because they have no armor as well, you know, so it's kind of like but they are still very hardy in combat, very, very evil. And then these Wolf Riders, he's got 3 units of Wolf Rider archers, which are going to be pretty effective. These Orc boys taking a lot of damage already, whilst these Savage Orcs obviously losing quite a few men because they have not only got no armor, but also because they were hit beforehand and getting shot at by the archers. So the main fight is happening. He's got some Savage Orcs, big ones, getting ready, like sort of just moving up, and they get massively charged by these Savage Orcs Boar Boys, and then the Orc Boar Boys gonna go into the fray over here, going behind the lines and probably gonna catch these by surprise. On the other side, it looks like the Doom Diver is still gonna aim at the Arachnarok. Whilst over here, Devin's just decided to chill out with these Orc boys, and he's got 2 units more over here, just chilling out, doing their own thing, not really doing much. We have a spell that's just been cast. The Fate of Juno was just cast by Azhag on the Orc Big Guns. Quite a good spell to use at that point. And here we go, the big charge has gone through and around the flank and into these Orc Big Guns with the infantry, allowing his cavalry to just go around. But it does seem like a lot of Devin's troop has just broken, and here comes the Arachnarok through the friendly lines, through Faceman's friendly lines anyway, and starting to attack these Savage Orcs, doing a lot of territorial damage. The Doom Diver hitting into him and missing a lot, but also here comes the Goblin Goblin Big Boss. He's going in with his spear, he's gonna sneaky stab it right in the butt. Look at that. Beautiful. But yeah, so it keeps on going. Looks like a few of them there. Devin seems to have the flank pretty much secured. And his men are starting to come back from routing now because of that. But the Arachnarok causes terror is going to be a big problem for Devin, to be fair. On this side, Devin seems to have moved his Orc Big Guns around. Probably going to go for the Doom Diver around the back, and also this unit has come out of hiding and finally stopped their picnic, and they're going to go around this side as well, it does seem. In the center, it still looks like, yeah, Devin's pretty much, most of his men have come back and have gone back into the fight. The Arachnarok has chased down 1 or 2 units, as well as Azhag just sort of hanging out, doing not much. I think he's getting fired at by something though. Yeah, I think he's getting... No, I thought he was getting targeted by these. We have a Foot of Gork has just been cast, which means that that was most likely from this Shaman on Devin's men, causing a lot of damage. Quite a bit of damage. I don't know how much of this is actually from the Foot of Gork, but it looks like quite a lot of damage going down there. Actually, I'm not entirely... Yeah, Azhag just has a lot of death. He doesn't have any of the other stuff. So the Doom Diver is now under attack from the Arachnarok. Savage Orcs have been brought in to deal with that threat as well. These ones have come back from routing, most likely going to be joining that. This guy has routed, he's probably be coming back at some point. These guys are completely outnumbered by the Trolls and 2 units of... Is it 2 units? No, yeah, 2 units of Big Guns. But this flank is completely secured for Devin, as well as his Orc boys coming in from the Boars, sorry, coming in from the side. These guys are just hanging out, not really doing anything right now. The Black Orcs coming in, then Faceman's general also, but they're just going to run away and go towards the men melee, which is probably the wisest of ideas, to be fair. So now this melee is looking a bit better, although it is just Boar Boys, but the Orc Boar Boys, I believe, are armor piercing. Yeah, they're armor piercing, which is going to be really good against the Wolf, well, against Wolf Riders going to be pretty meh, but against the Big Guns they're definitely going to have something. I don't think Big Guns are armor piercing, they're just damage dealers. These guys are probably not, they're not going to do anything. Wolf Riders, they're good as skirmish cav, but they're not good as melee fighters, unlike say the Empire's Pistoliers and Outriders, which are actually semi-decent in combat. Moving on, these guys are just hanging around, not really doing anything. Devin should probably get them to go into combat rather than just hang around. These guys have just had something cast on them. Something friendly. I don't know, no, that didn't look friendly. I don't know what that was. That might have been it can't have been Inchy Nuisance. I'm not entirely sure. I don't play Orc. I haven't really played Orcs that much. I'm not entirely sure what the spells look like. Here we have a aspect to the Dread Knight, which is really, really good on Orcs. Causing terror against Orcs is a really good way of getting your opponent to start fleeing. It's looking really good for Devin, to be honest, right now. Just a lot of Faceman's units are starting to rout in general, but this big blob here is going to be quite deadly, as well as these Black Orcs, which haven't lost any of their men, and that's really the big problem. Like, I think these Black Orcs are going to be game-changing, to be honest. because Devin doesn't seem to have anything that can take him out. As well as the Arachnarok, he doesn't have anything that can take out the Arachnarok. Because these Doom Divers, although they're cool, they're only good against infantry. That Arachnarok's not going to lose a lot of health. A Spirit Leech on it might do something. And the Arachnarok is one of the rare monsters that flees quite often because it is still got leadership of these guys. And we got some big charge by the Ball Boys into the Goblin Wolf Riders, just doing a load of damage on the charge there. This is going pretty okay. I mean, the big block, yeah, I feel like Devin's got everything under control, but he can't deal with those units that are still alive, basically. Having the Faceman's Black Orcs are really going to help these Orc Big Guns stay in the fight, and his Goblin Big Boss is going to die very quickly. And that Arachnarok is not going to die very easily. It's got 3,000, about just under 3,700 left. It's not a huge amount of health for a monster, but it's still pretty effective. And it's got quite a lot of armor, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at the stats again. 150 armor is a huge amount of armor for a little thing like that. It's quite big. But yeah, so Devin has once again asked his Ball Boys to go in, but they haven't actually like these guys aren't doing anything. I think he's only got one unit actually in combat right now. There's only 8 of them, but what he needs to do is cycle charge with these guys rather than keep them locked in combat. Even though they are really good in combat, on the charge they are amazing. Once again, they got some individual units that are just hanging around, not really doing anything, and I think that might cost Devin the game, to be honest. Like, these guys have come back from routing. There we go. Now they've just been under control. These guys have come back from routing quite a while ago, and they're still not back in the game, and it's not looking good for Devin. Devin's actually losing ground pretty quick, although he has more troops than Faceman, but Faceman's troops are much more elite. Then again, Faceman is doing the same thing here, leaving his general and these Savage Orcs there. I feel like what could have, like, if Devin had, where is Devin's general actually? Where's Azhag gone? Oh, is that him? Yeah, that's Azhag. Oh, he's routing. Oh, there we go. There's a problem. If Azhag had done Spirit Leech and killed Faceman's general quicker, I think he could have carried this game, but it's not looking good for him at all. I don't think he's going to make it. In fact, the balance of power is really going against him. He doesn't have a lot of units left. So Faceman might be able to take it just like that, and it's really a shame because Devin did really good to take out most of the infantry and all the things. He was doing well all along. It's just the Black Orcs he couldn't deal with, as well as the Arachnarok having a horrendous amount of health. But I feel like he should have ignored the Arachnarok with his Doom Divers and just gone for the infantry, gone for the Black Orcs, because I believe the Doom Divers are armor piercing and there's just guided projectile, but they do 152 missile damage. So I don't know. Possibly would have been done good if he had done that. He's still got a load of balls over here. If he'd done cycle charges with them, maybe it would have changed something as well, though probably not as much. But yeah, so about to see a mass rout going on for Devin as the Arachnarok goes into the Doom Divers, charging at them, and they flee the battlefield. One of them actually gets eaten down. There we go, valiant defeat through Devin, with Faceman doing rather well with his army composition. I think won him that game. So yeah, we go, a very good first battle to get you warmed up for Legend versus Prussian Prince. So thank you very much for watching this one. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay guys, here we are. I was about to say Faceman. Prussian Prince here in the yellow versus Legend of Total War. These two giants facing off in the first battle of this round. Prussian Prince has bought Azhag the Slaughterer on top of Skull Muncher. Look at that baby. He also has 2 units of Orc Boy Big Guns here and 10 units of Black Orcs up front. He also has on the flanks 2 units of Goblin Wolf Riders, and over here 2 units of Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. Legend of Total War on the other side of the battlefield has bought Azhag on foot. He has 2 units of Doom Divers, 1 unit of Trolls. He has bought, I believe, 8 units of Savage Orcs, 3 units of Orc Boy Big Guns, and a unit of Orc Big Guns, and exactly the same on the other side, 3 units of Orc Boy Big Guns and 1 unit of Orc Big Guns. Let's see how the battle plays out. Judging by the army composition, Prussian Prince definitely has a better advantage on the melee. Savage Orcs definitely can't go toe-to-toe with a unit of Black Orcs. Although they will stay longer and do quite a bit of damage as well. These guys have a horrendous amount of armor, I think 110, which allows them to really rip through the lines of any Savage Orcs. However, Savage Orcs take 10% less damage because of their war paint, which is just fantastic, really, to be honest. And they are immune to psychology, which means they can't be attacked by terror until they lose that frenzy, which I believe it's when they start routing. So yeah, that can happen. We got some random Doom Diver sent goblins going to attack the Black Orcs, doing quite a bit of damage to a few of these units. These guys losing 2 of their men and a lot of health going on. And we can see the first opening skirmish going on with Legend of Total War having to move his his boars away from these harassing goblins archers. On the other flank we can see that Prussian Prince has retreated his Wolf Riders down, and we have Black Orcs coming down there. He's set them up so that it can go here. We got the first set of spells moving on. We got Doom Divers coming in and a Spirit Leech going on to Legend of Total War's General and also Prussian Princes. He's also going to cast a spell very quickly whilst he's in the air, Fate of Buna, on these trolls. I would like to note and point out something very interesting about the composition. We've got another Fate of Buna actually going on onto these guys. Quite effective spell to cast, as these guys are pretty good, to be honest. And they're going to lose a lot of men because they do not have as much health as a normal unit of Black Orcs. As the combat starts to begin, you can see a huge amount of outnumbering here. We got a few units, we've got like 4 units going straight into combat here. And we also have a Wow having been called, however, probably not called at the best moment. You probably should have gone like here to cast it, because you only really got this Doom Diver, which is not really the best option to go for. I wanted to mention the choice of General, but I think I'm going to wait until later on, because right now a lot of things are going on. On the flank, for example, Prussian Prince has taken out 2 Black Orc units into this big melee. He's got another unit going on here. Number 2 stuck in combat here. They're starting to lose. These Goblin Wolf Riders fleeing very quickly because they are Wolf Riders. Bork Big Guns getting stuck in the side. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I don't think Bork Big Guns are... Yeah, they're just damage dealers. They're not actually any good. As you can see, on a one-on-one fight, these Savage Orcs are going to lose against these Black Orcs very quickly. Not being able to do enough damage to go through the armor of the Black Orcs, or not enough to do a significant amount of HP damage. The Doom Divers continuing to attack the General, Prince of General, but they are going to be attacked by the Wolf Rider archers quite effectively, throwing them around the place, not doing a whole lot of actual damage with that charge, but they will eventually kill them. And these Black Orcs managing to rout a fair few of Legend's men. We can see some strike happening. There was a Spirit Leech, and a Foe Seeker has been cast as well. Spirit Leech being cast by Prussian Prince's General on Legend of Total Wars, and they're also shooting him with bows, which is pretty effective, as you can see. And Skullmuncher is just flying around the place. Okay, and this is I might as well go there as this flank is basically one for Prussian Prince, and this side is going in Legend of Total War's favor. But basically the big difference within the choice of whether or not to take Skullmuncher. Skullmuncher does cost quite a bit of money in terms of actual cash, but it's also quite an advantage for Prussian Prince here, because Legend has taken no kind of missiles, and he's only got Azhag to really deal with that. And I think that Legend of Total War thought that that would be enough, and he wasn't. I assumed another Spirit Leech going on. However, I believe the Skullmuncher gives a massive health benefit, and we can see as he charges into Legend of Total War's General, he pops all of his stuff, all wires and everything. His back's also going to chop Legend of Total War's Azhag down as well. Just too late for these Orc Boy Big Guns as they came in to try and save the General, but it was too late. But as I was saying, usually you would never take a flying, on the competitive scene of this game, flying generals are a bad idea if the enemy has any kind of missile cav or anything, because these guys get stuck in combat very quickly. They can't lift if they keep getting attacked, and also archers can just fire on them at any point. As you can see how low that health pool is. He's actually going to cast a Aspect of the Dread Knight on these Black Orcs. giving them a little leadership boost, which is great, but it also causes terror, which is going to be very bad for these guys. As you can see, they are terrified, apparently, which is not the same as routed. But there we go. So Legend of Total War is going to... It doesn't look very good. I mean, this flank is completely lost for Legend of Total War, and this side isn't going to go well, especially with the loss of a general. Now the leadership is going to be really bad. And he's called another war, which is going to be plus 34 melee attack, which is just insane buff on his men. Prussian Prince has paid dearly, though. He's lost a lot of his Black Orcs to these Savage Orcs, and to be fair, these Savage Orcs still very much alive over here. The Boar Boys' big guns are armor piercing, so they should have been enough to take out the Black Orcs, but I don't feel like... I don't know. I feel like if Legend hadn't lost his general, this would have been even, would have carried on and be really close and even more, but since losing the general, that was the big pivotal moment. We can see another aspect of the Dread Knight being causing everyone, making everyone terrified, and that causes a big chain rout, a huge blow. So Prussian Prince seems to win this attack. It's a close victory, a very, very close victory. I would have even gone to possibly Pyrrhic, but it does seem like Prussian Prince knew what he was doing. He had the spells under his belt, and taking Skullmuncher really gave him the advantage in that case, despite the fact that Legend had the Boars to take on the the Black Orcs, sorry. And yeah, so really it was who was going to lose that general first, and also the small tactics on the side with the skirmisher cav in the shape of the wolves taking out all of, sort of sniping down the doom divers and the trolls and things like that. It was very, very nice to see, and the use of magic you can see on a very professional, I keep saying professional, but very competitive. These two are very, very good players, and we're probably going to see them in the knockout stages. And that was just masterful use of when to use the spell when and things like that. And I feel like it's just small mistakes of positioning and army choice, really, on the army selection screen. Legend took a gamble and didn't take any range, but he assumed that Prussian Prince would not take Skullmuncher, but it seems like Prussian Prince double gambled that and was like, yeah, I'm going to take that because I'm pretty sure Legend isn't going to take any range. And it paid off. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching these two battles. We're going to get a little recap of the results after Battle 1. And in the next video, we're going to see Battle 2. So here are the results for Battle 1. We can see that Prussian Prince is on top with his 742 troops remaining, above Faceman with only 266, both on 1 win, both on 3 points. Legend and Devin both have 0 wins. Legend is on top of Devin with 547, Devin 277 men remaining. So thank you very much for watching this video. In the next battle, in the next video, which will be out in about an hour's time, will be Battle 2 and the recap from what happened during there. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're enjoying the tournament, then please tell me in the comment section who you are rooting for. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and I will be seeing you next time.